Yeah, I'm back. It's me. Ah, boy, you thought you could get rid of me, didn't you? Didn't you? Nah, you can't. There's too much ugly shit out here to go over. Alright? What's up, everybody? This your boy Cartoon Chris, back at it again. Your design daddy. So, I seen this video come up on my timeline, right? It's called Why Companies Are Debranding. And it gets into like their logos and stuff. So I'm gonna do a little something different with this video and do like a reaction. And hopefully we learn something out of this. But I thought it was pretty interesting to go over companies and logos and stuff like that. And I haven't seen all the video yet. I've only seen like half of it. And I was like, you know what? I might as well go ahead and react to this. So we get ready to react to this. Half of it's gonna be live, but the other half, the first half, I've already kind of seen some of it. So let's go ahead and jump into this.
In recent years, some of the world's biggest companies have discarded depth and detail to debrand. Burger King lost weight, Rolling Stone found a cleaner edge, VW shared its depth and shadow.
All right, now as far as debranding goes, I would consider something like debranding to be like to just all out lose your corporate identity, because that's essentially what branding is, right? It's having a corporate identity, right? Having certain colors, having a logo, a look, a particular type of style, right? So if VW Volkswagen just completely like changed up this logo, right? New colors to it. I don't know, they dropped their slogan and just created a whole nother corporate identity for themselves, then I guess that would be debranding. You know what I mean? I would like him to explain like what they mean exactly by debranding, because this isn't necessarily like debranding. This is like just making tweaks to your corporate identity, pretty much, and just changing your logos and stuff. So I don't understand the whole debranding thing. But let's keep going.
As did Kia, Pfizer, Nissan, Durex, Intel, Toyota, and a host of other major brands. Even the munchable hero Julius Pringle had a flattening make under, with shaved head, dyed moustache, dilated eyes, and new pre-sprung eyebrows. But what prompted this landslide of logo debranding?
Okay, so to me personally, the way they're stripping these logos down, these logos look exactly how they probably should have looked from the jump. I've always been taught that when you create a logo, you want to create a black and white version of it, right? And you need to strip it down to its like barest form, right? Before you throw strokes on it, before you throw gradients on it, before you just get to dressing it up as a bunch of stuff, it needs to be this really plain, clean, and simple black and white image. And maybe I'll put an example on the screen here of that. You know, I do all my logos like that actually. So when I see these logos and I see them getting stripped down, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, they should probably already have a version of this anyway, like sitting somewhere in the catalog before they started throwing on all the fancy fireworks and stuff onto the logo, right? And another thing about this, let me gather my thoughts here. Let me get into why you do that. Is because you're going to have to come across a situation, right, where you're going to have to strip everything from the logo anyway, whether you're printing the logo out on like some kind of small print design. The example that I like to use the most, right, is when they go to distribute albums, right, and Cash Money or whatever, and you turn the album cover around, right, to the back of it. This is old school, right, because everything's digital now, right? So I'm an old motherfucker, all right. But so when you turn the album around, you'll see right down in the bottom where you see the record labels that are listed there, the logos of the record labels, they are in like black and white. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fit a logo with a bunch of gradients and strokes and stuff. You can't get it that small on an album cover and have it to translate well visually. I've sent logos off to clients in their bare bone form, right? And they're looking like, what in the hell is this? And I'm just like, well, we'll get to throw in all the fancy fireworks and stuff on it eventually, but we need the bare bones version of the logo, right? My guess is the reason why these companies are doing this is because of the rise of mobile, right? So yet again, another circumstance where you have to have a bare bones version of your logo fit on the screen of a phone in the form of an app icon, right? So let's keep going in the video.
Side of logo debranding. Several interlocking forces are at work, the most immediate of which is the pressure of mobile-first design. Clients used to ask, can you make the logo bigger? Now the trick is to shrink an entire identity into a tiny digital box. Such pixel pressure usually means returning to the 2D look of old. Of course, this 2D look was more or less the norm until computers took over.
Yeah, see, they said the exact same thing. And look, and I told you I watched a little bit of the first part, but I guessed that right before he said that. I don't know how everybody else was taught, but I know the way I've been taught. I mean, that's logo design 101. And I've seen a lot of businesses have a lot of these cutesy, sparkly logos with cartoons. It's cartoons out like, Lisa's nail shop or whatever, and it's got a cute little cartoon. Hey man, much respect to the artists and everything. They usually come out really dope, but even those logos need a bare bones version of the logo. You can't do much with trying to shrink this really like pretty glitzy cartoony logo down and trying to get it on on the screen of a mobile app. You know what I mean? Not everybody is taught the same, man. Look, I'm not the greatest logo designer at all, you know what I'm saying? But I know my principles. I pride myself a lot on that. Design has rules, design have principles, and you follow those rules and principles. And I would credit that to me being such a well-versed generalist, right? Is because of those principles. I follow the principles. It doesn't matter if I'm doing animation, if I'm doing design, logos, album covers, photography even. It's in there too, videography. Follow the principles. But that flat 2D style, Microsoft in their Windows phone at the time, they ushered that in. And I like it for the better. Me personally, I'm a minimalist. You want to communicate the message as direct as possible. So let's keep going.
Norm until computers took over and design inflation spiraled out of control. Anyone who has overfiltered an Instagram sunset knows the seductive lure of visual excess, and it's a seduction to which the pros are not immune. The ability to round corners, drop shadows, customize gradients, and create complex lighting effects can easily overpower the creative brief, and often does. So many recent
Yes. Yep. Right on the money, man. That's why I'm just not a fan, period, of a bunch of gradients and drop shadows and just really overdoing any form of work, to be honest with you. Like, I was pretty early on the minimalist trend. I didn't like a lot of drop shadows, and I think when people use drop shadows, they don't tighten them up enough. You know what I'm saying? So they're barely there. It comes off as gaudy sometimes, and that's why I don't like to do it too much. I start with the bare bones logos. If you can see as this Lotus logo here, the one on the top is what I like to turn in. That's what I like to turn in to a client, whatever, at 9 to 5. That's what I like to turn in. And then, and the thing about that is you can always get into the one on the bottom here to where you're just throwing a bunch of flashier stuff on there. But yeah, he's absolutely right. It overpowers things, and visually, you want to try to communicate things as precise and pristine as possible. You only have a few seconds to catch somebody's attention. All right, so you want that logo to communicate what it needs to communicate like that. And that goes for any design, period. You want it to communicate whatever it has to say up front as fast as possible. And when you throw a bunch of visual information on a logo, on a design, et cetera, then that's when you can kind of lose the viewer and they can get a little exhausted or a little what's the word for tired? Okay, I can't think of the word, but whatever. Look at these logos right now, and just tell me, when you first glance at these, you can clearly read that top one, clear as day, and right off the bat. The one at the bottom, the Lotus one at the bottom here, with all the silver and stuff, it takes you a while to kind of take in what's going on. Yeah, run that test on yourself. Hey, no bullshit. You know, I stay away from this type of stuff, man. You know, because I know it. You know, sometimes it's hard to convince a client of the way that works, but you know, when they're paying, they're paying, and they're the boss, and I do whatever they tell me to do. You know, I have my recommendations, yes, but hey, I leave it up to them. But let's keep on going here.
Turn to sobriety after a spasm of software-abetted intoxication. There is also the question of maturity. Many of our biggest brands were born in a spirit of playful innocence that burst forth from their early branding. Take Foursquare, Airbnb, GoDaddy, Google. As these companies grew and the stakes rose, so their logos were obliged to mature, from cartoonish to corporate, flamboyant to flat, wacky to bland, illustrating the power of debranding to professionalize. And then there is fashion. Company graphics are as susceptible to trends as any other design, as we see in the stampede of fashion's little black dress logos, heralded by Yves Saint Laurent in 2012, and followed by Diane von Furstenberg, Calvin Klein, Berluti, Burberry, and Balmain.
I'm not gonna review the rest of the video. I think it's been said enough at this point. I'm glad to see all these companies kind of stripping it down and getting back to a minimalist design for their logo. And the reason for that is because when you're out there freelancing and stuff like that, and you're trying to explain these things, you could easily bring stuff like this up, or you could send them a video like this. Hey, the big boys are doing this. You need to be doing this too. We're in the attention economy right now, and you're fighting for somebody's attention, and you're fighting algorithms too. So I mean, you only have so much time to communicate your message. If you guys can go and check out this video in full. Really digest the information that's there. Check out my last video. I'm gonna put it somewhere up here. It goes over word art, and and my feelings on ugly word art, man. This is another design trend that just needs to die, man. But check out my video on word art here. It'll help you stay away from all the disgusting nastiness of design out here. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, y'all. I'm just now kicking off, man. Make sure I get some people in the bank, y'all. Just fuck with me, man. Fuck with me for now. Fuck with me. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, man. I got some good stuff coming up. Come on. Fuck with your boy. Come on. All right, y'all. Well, I'm out. Oh, you must want it, huh? You must want it.